Binge eating thrives in isolation. The only reason that you feel like I'm the only person thinking about food 24/7, the only reason you feel like I'm broken, like something is wrong with me, is because you're not surrounding yourself with other people that actually get you. Binge eating thrives in isolation. You feel so much shame and guilt and judgment around the things that you're doing with food, and it makes you feel kind of crazy. You're like, you feel shame when your husband leaves the house, and then all of a sudden you grab an entire jar of peanut butter and you're eating from the spoonful. Your coworkers jokingly say like, oh, I ate so much chocolate and I have to go burn this off at the gym. But you know that they don't think about food as much as you do. You go out for dinner and your friends look at the menu and are so quick to be like, that pizza sounds so good. And they order the pizza. And when they've had enough, they just leave the rest on their plate because they're satisfied and they're full. And you're like, it just looks so effortless for this person. Like, I want to be able to do that. Why can't I just eat normally? Why can't I just listen to my body? Why can't I just eat like a normal person without these crazy food thoughts, without thinking about, did I eat too much? Is this enough protein? Like, I just want to be able to eat like a normal person. And because you're not around other people who are openly sharing that they also think about food, that they also eat past fullness, that they also feel out of control with food, because you're not around those people, you feel broken. You feel like I'm the exception. You feel like I'm crazy. There's something wrong with me. But just like you don't openly share with other people what you're going through, like you don't go to your coworkers and you're like, by the way, I binged last night. Because you don't openly share, that also means that there are so many other people who are going through the same things as you, but they're not openly sharing how they're feeling, what they're thinking. And that makes you feel like, well, then I'm the only person. You're not the only person. There are so many other people. There are so many other people who eat in secret, who overthink their food choices. Food is on their mind 24/7. They're, as soon as their husbands leave the house, that's when they're eating. Or when their kids go to bed, it's like, that's when they're eating. There's so many other people. But if you're not surrounding yourself with other people who get you, who understand you, who are engaging in very similar behaviors with food, who have similar thoughts as you, of course, you're going to think, I am the exception. I remember when I was trying to figure out this whole binge eating thing on my own. And I remember people, just saying to me, like, even when I would tell, like, my boyfriend at the time, this was, like 2015, I don't even know what year it was. And, he would say, like, well, just don't buy the chocolate, or just, have smaller portions. Maybe you've had people tell you this before. Like, just watch your portions. Just don't eat so much. Just don't buy the chocolate. And you literally want to rip your hair out because you're like, you don't freaking get it. You don't get it. How many of you have experienced somebody telling you, well, just don't buy the chocolate. Just use a smaller plate. Oh, well, just stop when you're full. Like, just don't overdo it. And you're like, if it was that easy, I would have stopped by now. But you know that that's not what you need. That's not the advice that you need to hear to break a decade-long battle of binge eating. And so it can be frustrating when you're trying to do this on your own because, number one, you feel like the exception. You feel crazy. You feel broken. You feel like nobody understands you. But then also, you don't have people that get you, so they can't celebrate you in the same way. So let's say you are trying to figure out, how to stop binge eating on your own, right? Not only is there shame and guilt, but when a strong urge to binge comes on, you are more likely to say one last time. You're more likely to be like, no one knows that I'm having an urge right now, so I'm just going to give in. Because nobody knows. Nobody knows that I'm binging. I'm by myself. Nobody knows. Compared to when you have a badass community like I've created inside of the Root and Rewire membership, you have a badass community of people who get you, who are on the same path of conquering binge eating, and you just saw one of the other badasses say, I had the biggest urge as I was in the Costco lineup to buy a big box of chocolate and go home and binge. And you know what? I was able to stop myself and I didn't buy that big box of chocolates. You are more likely to not give in to your next urge because you're like, damn, if she did that, I can freaking do it. She didn't give into a binge urge. I can do it. I can do it. The next time, I'm not going to give in. It gives you hope. When you see somebody who went out for dinner and they trusted themselves to order their favorite sweet potato fries and they had the best time with their family, you're more likely to order what you want the next time you go to a restaurant. Because you're like, damn, she was a badass. She felt so good. She did it. I can do it too. When you see somebody who, I'm just thinking of an example of one of my current badass clients, she was open with her husband about her food struggles, and that was terrifying for her. She was so nervous to share with her husband this like dirty little secret because they've been married for so long, and she finally opened up to him. And then one of the other badasses got the courage to also share with her partner. So this is the benefit of being surround other people who get you. You don't feel crazy. You don't feel broken, right? So you let go of so much shame. You let go of so much shame and judgment. You feel less alone. You're like, oh my gosh, this person is thinking the same thoughts as me. Wow, this person actually gets me. That's the first thing. But the second thing is you're more inclined to utilize the tools. You're more inclined to not give in to the next urge. You're more inclined to leave food on your plate once you're satisfied. You're more inclined to order exactly what you want at the restaurant. Because you just saw the other badasses who are freaking crushing it, who were able to not give in to their urges, leave food on their plate, be open with their partner, and you're like, damn, I want to be that. Thank you for going first. Thank you for being that source of inspiration. I'm not going to give in to my next urge. And then when you actually don't give in to that urge, everybody is celebrating you. Everyone's like, you're a freaking badass. You got this. This is amazing. I know how much of a big deal this is. And you feel even more proud of yourself. When you're trying to do this on your own, nobody's there to celebrate you. You can't tell your husband, by the way, when you left the house, I really wanted to, eat all the ice cream, but I stopped myself. Like, you're not going to tell your husband that, even though that's a freaking massive big deal. So then you kind of feel like, man, was it that big of a deal? That was a big deal. You not eating in secret, you not acting on a strong urge is a massive win. But because nobody's there to celebrate you, because you're not around other people who also get you, you feel like maybe it wasn't that big of a deal. And then you downplay your success. You downplay, how big of a win that was. And then you're like, well, it wasn't that big of a deal. And then you give in to the next urge. Versus when you're plugged into our badass community and all of these people get you, and you just shared that my husband left the house and I so badly wanted to grab the ice cream and freaking go to town, and I didn't do it, everyone is like, holy moly, badass. I'm celebrating you. I know how big of a deal this is. And you feel so good. You're like, yes, yes. And then celebrating your wins creates more winning. When you celebrate yourself, you feel on fire. You're like, I'm going to conquer. I've got so much hope. I'm so excited. And then you're more inclined to not give into your next urge. You're more inclined to, when you're out for dinner and you're full, leave food on your plate. You're more inclined to order the sweet potato fries because you're like, that's exactly what I'm craving and I'm going to be a badass. I'm going to order it. You're more inclined to do these things because you feel so good with other people celebrating you. You're on fire. You're in this momentum. When nobody's celebrating you, you're like, oh, I'm not really making progress, but you are. When people join our badass community inside of the Root and Rewire membership, they say to me, Lorna, this is my favorite part. It is so special being around other badasses that get you, like no partner ever will. Not even some therapist ever will. No nutritionist ever will. You're like, these people actually get me. Like they're going through the same thing as you. It is so important. Binge eating thrives in isolation. When you are isolating yourself, there's shame, there's guilt, there's judgment. And that propels the binge cycle. You binge more because you're like, no one else does this. No one else eats in secret. Nobody else has crazy food thoughts like I do. There's something wrong with me. So I'm going to go eat more. Meanwhile, there are so many other people. There's so many other people that are going through the exact same thing as you. They're just not open about it. Like, you're not going to go to the grocery store and someone's going to say to you, yeah, I'm picking up cookies to binge on tonight. You would never say that. So that person never says that either. But then that makes you think, I am the only one. You are not the only one and you're not broken. You just haven't conquered binge eating yet because you're not around the right people. And this is why I created the Root and Rewire membership. I wanted to create this safe space where you felt so seen. Not just by me, somebody who has past lived experience with binge eating that gets you, but these other incredible badasses that are going through the exact same thing as you. That is so special. That is so special. Like learning the tools, learning how to actually rewire your brain to stop binge eating is important. And I teach that inside of the Root and Rewire membership. That is important. But you also need, if you want to join, the link is in my bio. You can message me the word membership. You can message me the word membership as well too, and I can send some details. But learning the tools is important, but you can know that you're safe to order the sweet potato fries at the restaurant, but when you're trying to do this on your own and you don't have other people cheering you on, it's really easy to be like, maybe I shouldn't order the sweet potato fries. Maybe I should just order the salad. Or vice versa. F it, I'm just going to get dessert even though I'm full. But when you have our badass community, you're like, I'm going to be the badass that orders the sweet potato fries because then I'm going to go into the badass community chat and I'm going to be like, guys, I ordered the sweet potato fries. I'm so freaking proud of myself. And I was full from dinner and I didn't bother ordering dessert and I feel so good. It's like you get excited to share your wins with other people because you know that they're going to get you. So I created the Root and Rewire membership, yes, to teach you the tools to rewire your brain so you no longer feel an urge to binge. That's important. You need to learn how to quiet the food noise, how to stop giving into your urges, how to get out of the all or nothing mentality. So if you do enjoy some pizza, You don't say, F it, I'm going to binge on ice cream the rest of the night. You need to learn the tools. And that's why I developed the root and rewire process that you learn inside, but you also need to be around other people that get you, which is why inside of the membership, there's the badass community. So you never feel alone. You guys, this makes the biggest difference. I've seen so many people try, and they're so motivated. I'm so ready to stop my binge eating, but they're still binge eating because there's shame. Nobody's there to cheer them on. Nobody's there to pick them up. I'm telling you, I say this all the time. There's going to be days where you feel so good. You feel amazing. And if nobody's there to cheer you on, it's really easy to brush it off and be like, well, there's no point of celebrating the fact that I didn't binge this week because I'm probably going to binge next week. But when you're around other badasses and you're like, I didn't binge all week and everybody's giving you love, that's more, it's like you feel so much more excited to have a good week next week. And then on the days you're not feeling so hot, on the days where, maybe you're not feeling good in your own skin, maybe on the days where you're so stressed from work and you've just been emotionally eating like crazy, you can plug into the community and they are going to be like, listen, you got this. Like, I know, I believe in you. Like, use this tool, watch this training. I've been there before. This is what helped me. And you feel this massive sense of relief. Being part of our badass community inside of the Root and Rewire membership will change your life because there's less shame and there's less judgment and there's less guilt. And those are the things that propel the binge cycle. Binge eating thrives in isolation. The only reason you haven't conquered yet is because you're not around people who actually get you. I've had somebody try on her own to stop binge eating for 20 years. She joined the Root and Rewire membership. She was all in on the community. She was celebrating herself nonstop. She was sharing with the other ladies what she was going through. She was sharing the good days. She was sharing the not so good days. She was supporting the other badasses. And of course she conquered. But that's because she leaned in. The shame and the guilt and the embarrassment that she was holding on to for 20 years went away. Yes, she learned my Root and Rewire process. I helped her rewire her brain, so it was so easy for her to not give in to her urges, and that's important. But she's like, I tried on my own for 20 years, and the community made the biggest difference. You deserve to feel seen. You deserve to be so celebrated. And that's why I created this space. I'm doing something really special for the next 20 people that join the Root and Rewire membership. Not only are you getting in at a special rate, but everybody is going to be starting at the same time. So that's really amazing. You get to do this whole journey of conquering binge eating together, which is so exciting. And you're also going to get my program, Eliminate Your Urges, where I show you exactly how to stop giving into your urges so they stop popping up. You're going to get that program included, and that's starting at the end of the month. You're going to get that program included when you join the membership now. So if you're like, yes, this is exactly what I need. I've been looking for a place. I didn't even know that there was support available for me. Or this is the missing piece. I know what to do, but I don't have people that actually get me. My partner doesn't get me. My coworkers don't get me. My friends and family don't get me. This will change everything for you. This will be the biggest breakthrough that will allow you to go weeks and months without binging. So you can message me the word membership and I'll send you all the details. It's 6 or 12 months. It's a 6 or 12 month program. You learn my entire Root and Rewire process. So I help you rewire your brain out of these habitual cycles because binge eating is a habit. So once you actually learn how to rewire your brain, it's going to be easier for you to not give in to your urges. So you have all the tools. There's trainings on how to get out of the all or nothing mentality, how to stop secret eating, how to stop thinking about food 24/7, how to be able to unwind at the end of the day when you're so stressed instead of going into the pantry and snacking. Then you have monthly coaching calls with me. So every single month you get to come on Zoom and I get to personally support you with whatever it is that you need support with. Whether it's I'm still giving into my urges, I'll help you with that. Maybe you had a triggering comment said to you and you're like, I feel horrible and I've just been overeating. I'll support you with that. Maybe you're like, I really want to open up to my husband, but I'm so scared. I'll support you with that. Okay. Then you obviously are plugged into our badass community, which is the most exciting part. Share your wins. You can share what you're up to. You can be celebrated and loved on and feel like, oh my gosh, I finally feel less alone. And then every single month, there's a challenge or a masterclass. So you're always in constant momentum. Every single month, there's a new challenge on how to stop binge eating, how to become less impulsive, or a masterclass. You're still continuing to learn information month over month. You're in constant momentum. So it's everything you need. The Root and Rewire membership is everything that you need. You've got the tools. You got coaching from myself, somebody who has past lived experience with binge eating. You have our badass community. It's everything that you need to feel less alone, to stop giving into your urges, and to fully rewire your brain out of binge eating. So message me the word membership if you'd like to jump inside. I just had somebody, she said to me yesterday on one of our coaching calls, she's like, my only regret is not joining sooner. This client, she messaged me, I think it was probably January, and she didn't end up joining until about June or the end of May. And she's like, my only regret is not joining sooner because this has been so transformative, not just for my relationship with food. She's like, I'm not even binging anymore. Like, I don't have crazy binges. I don't have these strong, crazy, binging episodes. Like, there's obviously some overeating, but she's like, I don't feel this urge to like binge like crazy anymore. And we're working through the overeating and the emotional eating. But she's like, I'm also more patient with my children. I'm more calm throughout the day. She's getting out of her perfectionist mindset. And she's like, I just wish I joined sooner. And now she's like telling everyone, she's like, you need to join because it's so easy, to think like I can do this on my own. It's so easy to think like I don't need support, especially when you're successful and you're thriving and you're very independent. You might think I don't need to do this until you actually get plugged in and you're like, whoa, my life is completely changed. So I can't wait to welcome you with open arms. My badass community, our badass community is here to open the doors and open our hearts to you and just open up our arms wide to welcome you in. And we're so excited to have you inside. So be sure to message me membership to get inside. And you can literally be on our next coaching call celebrating the fact that you haven't binged in weeks. You can be on our next coaching call sharing that you went out for dinner and it was the most relaxing experience, fun, memorable experience with your husband because you weren't stressing about the food the whole time. And we cannot wait to celebrate you with that. So cannot wait to have you inside. Have a beautiful rest of your day, you guys, and we'll see you soon. Okay, bye guys.